Welcome to Sense and Nonsense A to Z, where we pick topics based off of the letter of the day. Today is episode 9 of season 1, featuring the letter I.
We're family and we're your hosts, AT and Z. So let's get started. Today's hello is Tahitian.
Oh,
Yorana.
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 All
Hello.
right.
Yeah. It's spelled with an I, I-A-O-R-A-N-A, but it's pronounced Yorana.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is. Beautiful language, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's going on, Z?
You know, not much. It's been a slow week for me.
Nothing.
Nothing. I got nothing.
Nothing.
Nah. What about you?
I got something.
Okay.
Preseason baseball, baby.
Oh, okay.
It's finally here. Thank God. And I am enjoying it. That's for sure.
Good. That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah. So right now I have hockey, I have basketball, and I have preseason baseball. I'm a happy camper.
I guess you are.
Yep. Rangers are doing well. I'm happy. So here's the latest.
Okay.
We had talked about Troy Aikman going to Monday Night Football.
Yes.
Joe Buck is joining him.
Is he?
Yep. Isn't that great?
Look at that.
Yeah.
That would be a nice pairing.
Wonderful. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
It's going to be the reason to watch Monday Night Football now.
Not the games. Forget the game.
Sometimes it's a game. Of course it's a game. But, you know, it's hard to watch a game when the announcers are on the lame side. And I got to be honest with you. Some of the Monday Night Football guys have been lame, you know. So it's also going to be interesting to see who Fox replaces them with.
Yeah. It's hard for me sometimes to listen to the announcing. Yeah, it really is. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. So that's what's going on.
Well, the best of luck to them. I hope they're very successful. I'm sure they will be.
I'm sure there will be. Yep. Did you by any chance watch the Oscars?
I didn't know.
Did you hear what happened?
Well, I heard something like Will Smith smacked Chris Rock.
Yeah. I mean, like a punch slap.
What?
Chris Rock does his regular thing.
Right.
I'm a big fan of Chris Rock.
Me too.
Okay. So I know his humor. Everybody knows his humor.
He's been around for ages. Yeah.
Long time. And Will Smith and his wife were pretty much in the front.
Yeah. One
of his jokes was, you know, he said, "I love you." He goes, "I'm looking forward to seeing you in G.I. Jane 2.
To Jada Pinkett Smith.
Right.
Okay.
Apparently she has that issue that she's losing her hair because of that
alopecia.
Yes, alopecia.
Yeah.
And I guess Will Smith didn't take kindly to the G.I. Jane reference.
Ooh, because Demi Moore shaved her head.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
So he went up to the stage and punch slapped him.
Holy crap.
And I got to tell you something. Chris Rock handled it beautifully. He took a moment and he said, "I just got beat up by Will Smith." He was taken aback.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
A couple of people had taken Will Smith aside and said, you know, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
He proceeded to have said to Chris Rock, "Get my wife's name out of your effing mouth." So anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, was not good. And unfortunately, all the talk shows are talking about that rather than talking about the awards.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah.
There was a thought also that why did they let him go up? Because Will Smith won for Best Actor. Yeah. Why did they let him go up and ramble on for 5 minutes? And then he got a standing ovation.
Really?
Yeah. Hollywood's not looked on very fondly right now.
Jeez.
There's a thought that maybe he should not be allowed to go there anymore.
Well, this isn't the first time there's been some controversy with him in the Academy Awards.
I know, that's true.
Yeah. But he physically assaulted somebody and then they let him.
And Chris Rock is not pressing charges.
He's very fortunate because he's got a billion witnesses to the fact that this just happened.
I know.
That's not the way to handle things.
Yeah. I don't know what I would have done if I was in charge. I probably would have allowed him to go get his award and say thank you and you're out of here. You know, I don't know. That was my first thought.
Yeah.
That's
a tough call.
Chris Rock is a down-to-earth kind of guy.
Yeah, of course.
And doesn't surprise me that he's not going to press charges, but just for the
But you know what else too? He probably shouldn't have made that comment. That's not a good joke to make.
It's not a good joke. But
No.
you know, sometimes they're not good jokes. You know, sometimes it crosses the line.
Yeah, of course. But it's not something that she could help. It's not like it's a choice she made.
No, but
it's a
she's
medical
also
condition.
been very, very public about it.
That's fine. That's fine. But you know, it's one thing to go after people for the stupid choices they've made, or you know, whatever.
Oh yeah, it's not a choice.
You know, but medical conditions are kind of like, really?
Yeah, I know. And by the way, Will Smith did not apologize to Chris Rock.
No, I'm sure he won't.
Yeah,
he won't.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, so that's the hoopla.
Hoopla.
Wow.
Hoopla.
How about if we do the 10 questions I edition?
Okay.
All right. So you ready for some intriguing questions?
Yeah, I'm ready to be intrigued.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. First question. Which Italian dish is your favorite?
I'm going to go with ziti. Big ziti.
Okay. All righty.
Yeah. It used to be angel hair pasta with white clam sauce, but now I am allergic to shellfish. So that's
there
out.
You go. You can't do that anymore.
No.
Yeah.
What about you?
Lasagna, baby.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to say lasagna, but here's my thing with that. I can do the exact same thing with ziti faster.
Well, yeah, but ziti gets mushed up a little bit more, whereas lasagna with the layers stay separated, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 2.
Okay.
When is the last time that you had an IV?
11 years ago when I was in the hospital giving birth to my son. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Had to think about that, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. When I was creating these, I was going, for me,
yeah.
For me, it was my colonoscopy, by the way.
Awesome.
Discussion for another time.
Yes.
Okay. Question number 3. Which country would you prefer to visit? Ireland or Israel?
Ireland.
Okay.
Ireland. Yeah, because it's hot in Israel. Yeah, I do better in cooler climate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
It's kind of a toss-up because I wouldn't mind going to Israel because of Jerusalem, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's a toss-up for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Indy 500 or Daytona 500?
Okay. Well, I've been to the Indy 500.
Okay.
I have been to NASCAR races, but I've never been to Daytona. I would say Daytona 500 because I've been to Indy. So Daytona. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like NASCAR better than I like the IndyCar racing. So
I do too, but there's something about the Brickyard. There's something about it.
Yeah.
Even NASCAR drivers, when they race at the Brickyard, there's something about that place.
Yeah.
So no, I've seen Jeff Gordon kiss those bricks, baby. Yeah. Yeah. So I would say since I've never been to Daytona, I would go to Daytona.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Do you have the iHeart app?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Do you?
I do. Yeah, I do. All right. Ever stayed in Illinois? Not just passing through. I mean, stayed.
I don't think so.
No, huh?
No. Driven through only.
Yeah.
Wait.
Hold on.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I stayed twice, once for a wedding and once for business. Way back when. Okay. We're up to number 7.
Oh,
how many picture IDs do you carry?
Under normal circumstances, 1.
Your license, right?
Yeah. If I'm traveling too.
Passport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same here.
Well, actually, if I'm traveling, I tend to carry 3 because I've got little guys too. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay. Next one. Do you own anything from Ikea?
No.
Me neither.
Only because there's really not a convenient one near here.
Yeah, here either. Yeah.
Okay.
This next question is a little off the wall.
Okay.
Ink cartridges, original or remanufactured?
Original.
Yeah, I do too. I always have problems with the remanufactured ones.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, either they don't work and, or they'll work a little bit and they're useless.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. Name someone with a high IQ.
That I know, or just in general?
In general.
Albert Einstein?
That's a good one. That's a good one. It's the first one I got.
Stephen Hawking?
It's funny that you brought those two up.
Okay.
They're both at 160.
Are they?
Yeah. Sir Isaac Newton, 190. Mozart, 165. Da Vinci, 220.
Holy.
For Da Vinci. Yeah. Johann
How did
Strauss,
they know that? He didn't take a test.
You know what it is? It's people who analyze these people.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, go take a test.
Yeah. Abraham Lincoln wasn't taking an IQ test.
Actually, they have Lincoln. Lincoln didn't make the top 5 presidents, but I have the top 5 presidents. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Quincy Adams, 175. Thomas Jefferson, 160. Madison, 160. Kennedy, 159.8. How did they come up with that?
I don't
and
know.
Clinton, 159. Technically, 200 is the highest, but I guess it's an old bar. And now we have new bars with people going over 200. Because there's this kid in Singapore. He is 22. His IQ is categorized at 263.
Holy crap.
I know. And there's an American author. Her name is Marilyn Vos Savant. She was born in St. Louis, Missouri, 1946. Her IQ is 228.
Wow.
Here's something I stumbled on. An article that was written last year for Screen Rant. I never heard of them before, but
I know who they are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they rated the characters of The Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
I thought this was cute. All right. So we know that Sheldon Cooper is number 1.
Right.
Even on the show, they claimed that his IQ was 187.
Okay.
Okay. Take a guess who is number 2. This is out of the main characters.
Okay.
All right. They went 1 to 10. So they had some characters that were on for a couple episodes, or for a season, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe Amy.
Yep. They felt that Amy was right behind Sheldon between 180 and 185. Are you ready for number 3?
Yeah.
Kripke.
Oh.
Because he challenged Cooper all the time.
Yeah. He's crafty, Kripke.
Yeah. And then they felt Raj because of his background.
Okay.
Then they came up with Leonard. Leonard on a show had mentioned that his IQ was 173, so they put him in there.
Mm-hmm.
Then they came up with Bernadette.
Mm-hmm.
Then Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Then they threw in Dr. Leslie Winkle.
Okay.
Remember her?
Yes.
Yep, of course, right?
Yes.
And Stuart, number 9, and Penny, number 10. But I think Penny had the most common sense out of everybody.
Probably, but Stuart...
Yeah, they put Stuart before. Because he had some sort of art degree.
I was going to say he does have a skill. He went to art school, so okay, all right.
Yeah. So
that order actually does make sense to me. So I think they were probably right on the button with that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ready for our sense or nonsense game?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. This is the category.
Okay.
One of my favorite things.
Okay.
Ice cream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Sense or nonsense? The U.S. consumes more ice cream per capita than any other country.
I would say sense.
New Zealand.
Oh.
With an average of 7.5 gallons per person per year. And then U.S. is second with an average of 5.5 gallons per person per year.
Really?
Like, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it cold in New Zealand? What are they doing eating all that ice cream?
They love ice cream.
I guess so.
However, as far as volume, the U.S. consumes the most.
So
followed by Australia, then Norway.
Wait a minute. So am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're wrong because it was per capita.
Oh, per capita.
Per capita. Oh. Do you want me to repeat the question?
No.
No.
I already feel an ice cream headache coming on from this.
Brain freeze. Okay. All right. Sense or nonsense? Employees at Ben and Jerry's are allowed to take home ice cream for free every day.
Every day?
Every day.
That's generous if that's true. I will say nonsense.
They're allowed up to 3 pints daily.
What?
I want to work there.
Are you kidding me?
That
is a tremendous amount
of ice cream. Yeah.
Every day?
Yeah. They're good guys.
Can
you imagine?
So. No.
I'm sure people don't do it, but they can.
That is a tremendous amount of ice cream.
Yeah.
3 pints a day?
Yep. Up to 3 pints daily. So they can just take one. Or they cannot take any.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I've worked for companies before and like you can take stuff, but like not every day. They usually have like a weekly thing or something like that,
Yeah. I've never worked for a company that let us do it.
Really?
Never.
Oh God. I worked for a couple of companies that you were allowed to do that.
Yeah.
They had bins, stuff.
Oh yeah.
That they were like, you can have, whatever.
Nah. Even when I worked for a toy company, they just had like a once a year sale. That stuff was like a penny or 10 cents.
Really?
And you always had, yeah. I've never worked for a company that you took anything for free. Never.
Really? I've worked for some companies where that was the case.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sense or nonsense? Astronauts miss ice cream the most on their space missions.
Don't they have freeze-dried ice cream? Yeah, I'll say sense.
It is sense. Ice cream is missed the most, then comes pizza, then comes soda.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you're eating pizza, you need something fizzy with it.
I guess.
But you're not eating pizza in space, so.
Yeah. Whatever it is that you're trying to eat, it's not close, I'm sure.
Well, it can't be that good anyway, although they're growing stuff up there now, so.
Yikes, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know. Okay, so some factoids. It takes 3 gallons of whole milk to produce 1 gallon of ice cream.
Wow.
Ice cream cones were invented in 1904 at the World's Fair in St. Louis, Missouri by vendors, and it was a way to just serve ice cream easier. So they invented that. Yeah, I thought that was cool. The most popular flavor is vanilla, and then comes chocolate.
Yeah.
The world record for eating ice cream within 6 minutes was made in 2017. Are you ready for how much?
I don't know.
16 and a half pints in 6 minutes. Yeah.
How?
Ouch. Just shovel it in.
Gross.
I know.
That's gross.
Have you seen a hot dog?
Yeah, it's so nasty. I don't even want to conjure that image in my mind.
Yeah, it's bad.
So gross.
Yeah. Okay, here's another Ben and Jerry's thing. They receive over 13,000 flavor suggestions every year from fans. 13,000.
I believe that. Do you know that they say that you're supposed to, Ben and Jerry's say that you're supposed to eat ice cream with a fork, not a spoon?
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so that you don't taste as much metal.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Then what do you do at the end? Oh, I'll tell you what you do at the end.
Put a straw in it and slurp it?
Nope. 1 in 5 share their leftover ice cream with their pet. That's what you do at the end.
What if it's chocolate? Dogs aren't supposed to have chocolate.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Slurp it.
So I'm 1 for 3 on these questions, which is just horrendous. I don't really eat ice cream that much. I like gelato, and I like Stone Cold Creamery cheesecake ice cream with graham cracker crust in it. But I do.
My favorite is Moose Trucks. It has swirls of chocolate syrup, and it has little chunks of Reese's.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they throw that in. And it's like, ooh, like that.
Yeah. See, I don't eat ice cream that much. I mean, partially because of the lactose thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, me too.
But I was never huge on it.
Yeah.
Oh, when we used to go to the shore, did you ever have waffle sandwich with the ice cream in the middle? Oh my God, that was the best there ever was.
Love it.
The Neapolitan brick of ice cream.
Yep.
In between the 2 warm waffles with powdered sugar on top.
Yeah.
That is like heaven from my childhood. So good.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God. You want to do our eye peeves?
Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
You start.
Okay. All right. My eye peeve is interest rates.
Oh,
yeah. So the Fed just raised the interest rates 0.25%.
okay.
All right. So loan rates last week were 4.25 and now they're going to be 4.50. Now I remember back in the 80s when interest rates on loans were like 19-20%.
Mm-hmm.
And CD rates were pretty decent at that time too. All right. My issue is CD rates, not really loan rates. I'm talking about saving rates. These banks, for example, Bank of America last year made $88.5 billion. Wells Fargo made almost $21 billion. These banks are worth trillions, but yet their savings interest rates aren't over 1%. They're like 0.7 or half, or it's like, come on, you're making all this money. Can you imagine how much people would throw into a savings account if they were getting some decent savings rates? I mean, I just don't get it.
I don't either.
I just don't get it. So
they're more than happy to ding you whenever they can, though.
Oh, yeah. And they're dinging you on the loan side. So they're going to, okay, so loans are going to be 4.5%, but savings is still under 1%. It's ridiculous. They're making all this money and they can't raise that rate. That's ridiculous. So that's my pet peeve.
I understand.
Eye addition.
Eye addition.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Interest rates. All right. How about you?
Mine is indiscretion apologies.
Oh.
As it pertains to like people in the public eye, celebrities
making apologies.
Right. So indiscretion means behavior or speech that is indiscreet or displays a lack of good judgment. And this is happening all the time. It happens constantly.
For many reasons.
For lots of different reasons, you know, all across the board. When anybody steps in it and then they have to issue an apology publicly because, you know, they've been basically shamed into having to apologize
because they did something stupid. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Or just in bad taste or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
said something stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a real beef with this because these apologies are very formulaic and they're designed to quote unquote uncancel somebody, right? So they're crafted to convey this kind of weird language that is supposedly saying they're sorry, but really it's not to relay any kind of genuine contrition, right?
Right.
They say things like, "Thank you for holding me accountable." I didn't realize my words were that significant. That's not what I meant when I said that. I'm continuing to educate myself. Sorry if anyone was offended. No one is perfect. I hear you. I love you. You know, virtual hugs, blah, blah, blah. So
and then, talk about insincere,
it's
right?
so insincere. And then possibly, depending on what they've, you know, said or stepped in, they might now donate to a charity afterwards.
Right,
you know?
right.
So an insincere apology to me is worse than no apology at all, because it just offers to further insult those you have injured by supposing that they are gullible enough to buy this fraud you're peddling as though it were authentic, right? It's just another slap in the face. And what's worse is often it works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
And it's just like, okay, you know, you did this heinous thing, but he said he was sorry. And now all the fans that you have accumulated can say, well, at least he said he was sorry. And he's learning from this experience. When you listen to this apology and it's like, really? That's your apology? Like, if we were in a relationship or you were my kid, I would send you back to your room for this. Be like, you think that this is, that I'm supposed to believe this, that makes everything okay?
Yeah.
And no, I don't by any means want to sound like I think that nobody should ever make a mistake or do something wrong. No, that's not the case at all. And I think a lot of these public apologies are none of the public's business in the first place. I mean, some of them very much are, but others, it's like they don't have anything to do with us, but we feel like we have a right to them somehow.
Yeah.
And I, you know, people can make mistakes, and some people are
everybody
very
makes
genuine.
mistakes.
Yeah. And some people are very genuine when they make them, but I'm talking about these ones that you're just like, there is no way your publicist made you do this, or you're doing this because there's going to be dire consequences otherwise.
Absolutely.
Not because you're really upset that you have done something to hurt people, you know? And that's the thing that I take issue with. It's this insincere. There's a formula for it. I mean, articles have been written on how to do these. You need these steps in there, and then all will be well again.
So wouldn't it be better if they just said that they messed up?
Yeah, that is, I feel, more genuine than this. I would like to apologize if I offended anyone.
And the only reason why you're apologizing is because someone challenged you or somebody heard it. And yeah.
Or you got caught on tape.
Right. That's the only reason you're sorry. Right. Or else you wouldn't be sorry.
Exactly. I understand that people are getting things like drug up from like 1984 that happened that's now coming out. Yeah. And it's not ever okay that you did the thing, but be sincere when you're speaking about it.
Right.
Even if you didn't know any better at the time, you know better now.
Yeah.
So just say, you know what? It was stupid of me to do. It was completely insensitive. I don't know what I was thinking, but now I would never do such a thing. And leave it at that instead of your contrived apology that really comes across as if you really don't care.
Yeah.
In any event.
I agree. Okay, so there's not a lot of rock bands that start with the letter I.
There really isn't.
No, but there's one really good one. It's INXS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about them for a little bit.
Okay.
Alrighty. We all know that they're from Australia. They started in 1977. They were originally formed as the Ferris Brothers because three of the guys are brothers.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was a surprise to me that they started in 1977. I did not realize growing up that they had been around that long.
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time. This was your typical school band kind of thing. You know,
garage band kind of thing.
Right. The one brother had a band, the other brother had a band, and then they got together and with some friends. So it's a great beginning story. They were playing with Midnight Oil.
Oh.
And you remember them. Beds Are Burning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the members from Midnight Oil came up with the name INXS. I guess.
Really?
Yeah. So they did. They took it on in 1979.
That's a great band name.
It really is. And I guess the Ferris Brothers doesn't really sound like a hard rocking band.
Yeah.
You know? So I think he was right for suggesting that.
Yeah.
First album was in 1980. Had a little bit of success in Australia, but in 1984, their first #1 single was Original Sin. And that's pretty much what took off from there. A couple albums that they had in the 90s, Listen Like Thieves, Kick, X, Elegantly Wasted. So during the Elegantly Wasted tour, we all know that he was found dead in 1997. He was only 37.
Yeah.
The band was together for 20 years.
Yeah. It was such a shock.
Totally.
It was such a shock. I mean, I remember being completely caught off guard by it. Yeah.
At the time, they were so popular.
Yeah.
You know,
and nobody could understand what happened.
No, not at all. I mean, some stuff came out after that, but you know.
Yeah. But especially at the time, because you're thinking that was 97, right?
97, yeah.
We didn't have news like we have today. We had MTV News updating us really. And that was kind of like it. There was no social media, you know, every eye in the world wasn't on it. So if it was now, we would have, you know, had more of an understanding. But back then we were really in the dark about it.
Yeah. And talk about MTV. How about all their videos? They were excellent.
They were great.
Yeah.
They were
I mean, even just that one Mediate.
Oh, within the cards?
With the cards.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding? That was so good.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Deadland Side was a really good video too.
Oh, so many of them.
I know. They were good. Yeah.
Yep. What's your favorite song? Can you remember? My favorite is New Sensation.
That's a good song.
I was doing some research online and people kind of like Never Tear Us Apart.
It's a good song. It's fun to sing. Plus, it's like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Weegaloo. That's a good gonna pick that one because it's fun to sing that song.
Yeah, I like New Sensation just because it's like happy and
it is happy.
Yeah. Okay, so the band kind of, faltered a little bit.
Yeah.
Tried a couple of singers and just it never happened.
It's a tough one.
It's tough. It really is tough when you lose your lead singer.
Yeah. Especially a good one.
Especially an excellent one.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't just a good singer. He was, he was so cute.
What a tremendous talent he was.
Yeah.
Tremendous voice. So much charisma.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. So much charisma.
I remember watching them in the Never Tear Us Apart video and being like bowling.
Oh my God.
Like bowling, watching him sing that song and act that thing out. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he was adorable.
Yeah. And like you said, he had so much charisma.
So much charisma.
It's tough to replace a Michael Hutchence. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. So a TV show was launched. Do you remember this? Rockstar?
Yes, I do.
Yep. They had auditions and they picked 15 finalists and they pretty much eliminated one at a time.
And this was really the start of this whole reality TV show audition type
I watched it religiously. Yeah. So it was hosted by Brooke Burke and the judges were pretty much the 5 remaining members of the band and Dave Navarro. Remember
really?
Him? The show had a house band and people would sing. And of course, different songs, they got judged, blah, 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 blah. So after 11 weeks in 2005, they picked one person, and that was J.D. Fortune to be their lead singer. I thought he was too arrogant. I liked the guy who was the runner-up. His name was Marty Casey. He was professional. He was good. I think J.D. Fortune was trying to imitate Michael Hutchence too much, and obviously it worked because he got the job. Anyway, 2011, they parted ways. It worked out, I guess, for 6 years, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they haven't really done anything since.
Well, I'm really sorry to say it, but he kind of was the band.
Yeah.
He kind of was the band.
This is one of those instances that the lead singer is absolutely the band.
Yeah.
There's a couple of exceptions that you can bring in a new singer and they'll be successful, just like Van Halen did. But for the most part,
Sammy Hagar had a career before Van Halen, though.
Absolutely.
And not only that, but he wasn't trying to be David Lee Roth. He was trying to be Sammy Hagar in Van Halen.
Yep.
And that's what saved them. They weren't trying to recapture something,
Yep.
Adam Lambert does a really good job, as Queen's frontman now, but he's also not ever trying to replace Freddie. Like he makes that very clear. No, he can't. He can't. He does a good job, but he knows he can't. And so they make no bones about it. And I think that's the right track to take. But in a band like INXS, they were definitely trying to make it be like,
obviously with them picking J.D. Fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? Anyway, well, they lasted 6 years with the guy. So
yeah, maybe they'd had enough by that. And anyway, I mean, it was a good band while they were together.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so the movie that I want to talk about, iAudition, is In and Out.
All right.
With Kevin Kline. This movie is from 1997, and it was directed by Frank Oz.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
I looked up who wrote it. A guy by the name of Paul Rudnick.
Okay.
And I was like, I know this name. He's done a couple of things, but more so, I was like, wait a second. It's like I know the name personally, and he's from Piscataway, New Jersey, and he was born. He's another 1957 baby.
Oh.
And I'm like, do I know this guy? You know?
Do you know
and
him?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
I do not. It sounded just so familiar, Paul Rudnick. But anyway, he got the idea for this movie from watching Tom Hanks' speech when he accepted his Oscar for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Isn't
I read
wild?
that.
Yeah, I thought that was wild. So the movie stars Kevin Kline, and he was a high school English teacher in a very small town.
Mm-hmm.
And he's engaged to Joan Cusack's character.
Yeah.
Emily.
She's so funny.
She was really good in that, wasn't she? And I love Kevin Kline. You know I do. I mean, one of my favorite movies is Dave.
Right.
And I do like A Fish Called Wanda. I do like that one too. But
won an Oscar for it.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But my favorite from him is Dave.
The Oscar that they use in this movie is his from A Fish Called Wanda.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So they're watching the Academy Awards because a former student who was played by Matt Dillon was up for an Oscar, and he won. And during his acceptance speech, he said, he thanked his English teacher, and then he said, and he's gay. And the whole town is watching.
Yeah. And the whole town is watching, horrified.
At that point,
they are now horrified. They were so excited that he was nominated. They wanted him to win so badly. And now they're just horrified and speechless.
It went from smiling and hooray, hooray to their mouths dropping.
Yes. Kevin Kline throws the remote out the window. He turns the TV off and throws it out the window. What the?
Oh, it'll go away by tomorrow. He's so funny. But
the funny part is, though, that Joan Cusack's character Emily turns to him and is like, "Is there something you want to tell me?"
Yeah, what are they talking about?
He's like, "No,
I have no idea." Why would they say that? I have no idea. Oops. And then the kids in class.
Oh man, everybody starts freaking out.
Yeah, everybody freaked out.
Yeah,
the kids in class, they were so funny. It was like, well, you know, you're a little prissy. Prissy.
You're very clean.
You're very clean.
You're a decent human being.
Yeah. How about Bob Newhart?
Your shirt's tucked in. Oh my God, Bob Newhart was very funny in this movie.
Homeroom teacher.
But it's sad. This is 1997. This movie came out. Okay, so you have to think about that. But also, it's hard to watch now and watch people fumble through in a way that they did back then. Movie. Yeah, because that's how they acted back then. Yeah, and it's true. Like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? You know, the whole "will it rub off on us" kind of thing. And
I know, is it contagious?
It's ridiculous, you know? And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that was ever a thing. I mean, I know that they're in some places, and some people still have a little bit of a mindset that it can be cured somehow or whatever. But, you know, by and large, that's gone away. But to go back and visit a time where that was the prevailing wisdom, that,
sure,
you know, it was somehow contagious, or you could influence people into being gay, or, you know, it's just like, oh my God, really?
Yeah.
But I like his mom, because she's like, I don't care what. Yeah. I don't care what you are. I don't care if you're green or purple or whatever, but why don't you want a wedding? You know?
All I want is a wedding.
All I want is a wedding and place cards and, you know, music and this whole thing, you know, and
dress up nice.
Yeah. That's all she wanted, was the wedding.
And then it's funny. And then she goes, it's like heroin. It's like, wow.
That's really strong. I realized that over the course of the movie, you know, things happen, and he meets Tom Selleck's character, who, by the way, shaved his mustache for this movie.
He looked different, didn't he?
I don't like him without a mustache.
Nor do I.
It's not right. It's something is wrong.
He's got to have a mustache.
Yes. And he sort of starts to percolate on this idea that he might be gay, and then he does come to that decision. But why is it, I'd like to know, I know it's for like to create the most intense drama purposes, but why does it always have to have this catharsis at the friggin' altar for this poor other person
to
like have to deal with the fallout now of this realization that you have made that you should not be getting married? It's like, why do you have to wait until this moment? That's like people's like one of their worst fears. Death, speaking in public, and being left at the altar. You could really do some damage to somebody, you know, tell them before everybody they know has.
And she had lost all that weight, right?
She lost
75
all that weight,
pounds or something like that.
oldies.
Yeah.
And you have to decide to tell her now, especially since you had time beforehand to tell her. Like she kept checking in with you, you know. And you wait until you're standing up there ready to say I do, and you say I'm gay. Holy crap, you're lucky she didn't kick you in the jewels. Like that's a horrible thing to do to somebody.
In front of everybody.
In front of everybody, your whole town really has showed up for this wedding. And you just did that. Yes, it's a hell of a thing for you to come out, and it's the right thing to do to not get married, of course. But maybe you could have decided that then even the day before, the night before, you know, like don't leave her when she's in her dress.
Yeah, seriously.
But I love her freak out though when she goes to the bar.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah.
That was very good. And when Tom Selleck goes in and is like comforting her, and she's like, sleep with me. And he's like, I can't. And she's like, why? Am I not attractive? Like, what is it? And he's like, I'm gay. And she's like, is everybody gay?
She was so good.
She
was so good.
I like her a lot.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts is the self-help tape. Repeat
a man thing.
Yeah. Yo. What a fabulous window treatment. That was a trick. I love that part.
I like it when he's like, untuck your shirt, and he's like, just one side. You're like, oh, you hate this, don't you?
I love that part.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. My favorite part
is
at the end when his parents are having the wedding, so his mom could have the wedding, whatever.
Yeah.
And she's sitting there eating cheese puffs, and Matt Dillon's character is just shoving him right in. Here you go. Have some more.
So that's so cool that he liked her. He had a crush on her.
And he liked her with a little bit more weight on her.
Yeah. It's a fun movie. It really is.
It is.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was a cute movie. I mean, like I said, it was a little bit hard right now, having seen it for the first time, going back and watching that kind of thing. But understanding the view of the time,
were like back in 1997.
Exactly. Especially having lived during that time. I mean, maybe if I hadn't lived during that time, I would be a little bit more critical of it, but it was also spoofing it a bit. So.
All right. So that was my movie.
It's time for me to do my favorite movie.
Okay.
And it has to be Iron Man.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
Yeah. Has to be.
For what reason?
Because of Robert Downey Jr., but it is a good movie. It's a really good movie. And I'm just going to talk about the first one. I'm not going to talk about 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
It's just number 1.
Okay.
And have you seen this movie?
I have.
Okay. So as you know, the first shot is a Humvee caravan in the desert. And the first sound you hear is da-na-na, da-na-na. And that is significant, listeners, because AT's ringtone
has been
Back in Black for ages.
Ever.
For ages and ages and ages. As long as you've had a smartphone, right?
Yeah. As long as I had a phone that can do a ringtone.
Yeah.
It's always been Back in Black.
Yeah. So I mean that is very significant for us. So I'm happy that she's seen this movie. And then he gets attacked with his own weapons, unfortunately, by terrorists, and has a bunch of shrapnel in his chest. when I was watching this movie for the first time, and it happens to me every time, is that after they get attacked, it then cuts to like 36 hours earlier in Vegas when he's supposed to be receiving this award. And they're setting you up to know that he's like this genius, and he's built his first circuit board at 4, and he built his first motor at 6, and, you know, graduated summa cum laude from MIT. Genius, 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 genius.
Yes.
He's wonderful. He's this, he's that, and he's receiving this prestigious award, and he has not shown up because he's playing craps. And I was like, I love this movie. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, it was just so good.
Yeah. Perfect cast.
Perfect.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, Stan Lee said that he was so happy that Robert Downey Jr. was playing Tony Stark. He is how he envisioned him. He said he was so lucky that they got him to play it. So you can't get much better than the creator's blessing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
and he was a genius.
Yes.
Stan Lee. Genius.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I loved all his cameos in all the movies. They were so good. And in this one, Tony calls him Hef, which is so funny. But he really trusted Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. with this property. And you know, I'm so glad he did, because it was the really smart move on his part.
He has to be probably my favorite director. Not one of my favorite directors, my favorite director.
Yeah,
I think Favreau was
Elf, right?
Fantastic.
Too. You love Elf. So yeah. I mean, I like Favreau a lot. He does a series called The Mandalorian, which I adore. I love The Mandalorian. And I feel things are safe in his hands. He is going to do a good job. He's going to honor the material, because he's such a fan, you know, he's such a nerd,
and he's
about
a hard worker too.
He is. And he pushes technology forward to make things work. And if he doesn't have the technology already, and he's like, this is what I need to happen, how can I collaborate with these people to get it to work? So I mean, it's incredible when we talk about The Mandalorian. Oh my god. We talk about the volume and all that. But
I had seen an interview with him, and he had mentioned how hard of a movie this was to make.
Yes,
very hard, because of all the special effects.
It was. And you know, he had never done a movie like this before. And
all the robotics too with this.
It was a lot.
Tough.
I mean,
it's tough. Yeah,
there was a lot of moving parts just on the suit.
Yeah,
you know, it took a lot of work just to get the suit together. And you know, there was also
amazing what they've done.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Absolutely. And not to mention the fact that there was a ton of stress and pressure on him, because they had hopes that this was going to be the beginning of the whole cinematic universe. That's a lot to put on somebody's shoulders, especially with him insisting on having RDJ in the lead role, because remember, at this time, he was not bankable yet again.
I know.
You know, so this was risky.
Yeah.
And he was firm on it, you know, and he was right. We know he was right, but you know, then there had to be a lot of questions about it. And
he was right on.
He was right on.
Yes, he was.
He was right on. And having Jeff Bridges be a bad guy, that's always a fun thing to see, because you don't get to see it too often. He did a good job. He was scary. He's got that voice too, that gravelly voice that, like, when he yells, you're like, oh my God, don't yell at me. I'm scared. Gwyneth Paltrow's also perfectly cast as Pepper Potts.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the dynamic between Tony and Pepper is just really good. They have really good chemistry.
It just really works. Yep.
Yeah. And Paul Bettany plays Jarvis, who is the AI kind of thing that follows Tony around and runs his life. Well, he recorded that in 2 hours for the whole movie.
Wow.
Yeah. And he didn't even know what film he was working on. He just did this as a favor for Jon Favreau. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's obviously, his role has developed over time. And by the time the Avengers rolls around and they do Age of Ultron, then he actually takes physical form on the screen. But he did a lot of movies before that ever happened. He hung in there, and there was a payoff.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's attacked in Afghanistan. He's got all this shrapnel in his chest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they hook up an electromagnet to his chest, and he's got a car battery he's got to drag around, right, to keep the shrapnel from going into his heart. And it basically pushes him to make a mini arc reactor. What an incredible mind they created to have him be able to put this thing together in a cave in Afghanistan using like almost nothing in 3 months.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if that man actually lived in the world? what it would be like? Holy cow. We were talking about IQs earlier, right? I mean, Tony Stark in the world, holy cow.
He's gonna be close to the 200 mark, huh?
I would say so. Yeah,
for sure.
When it first came out, we didn't really know, unless you were a comic book fan, you didn't know what this was going to be.
True.
And there was a image of him in the trailer in a cave in a tank top with the arc reactor glowing underneath, and he's hammering that metal helmet, right? The first Iron Man,
right? And
watching that, and he's all dirty and sweaty and everything, and watching that gave me chills. I was like, holy crap, what is this movie going to be?
Right.
And when they put it out and it came to that part, it gave me chills again. And every time I've seen it since, it's still done that. There's this excitement about this character being born in that moment,
right,
that just has sustained all this time that I can't shake. You know, even though I know the end, the beginning is still thrilling.
Talk about the beginning. Boy, has it evolved over the years from 1963.
Yes.
In the comic books. We used to read them. You know, we used to get them. We used to read them. You know, Superman, Batman, Iron Man, Green Lantern. We used to check them all out. And definitely has evolved from the animation. The TV show is an animation.
Right.
And like the first movie, I have no idea how Iron Man in that first movie, it was back in 78, even was mobile in that one, you know, but now, I mean, it's just incredible.
It's incredible. And it took a long time to even get this movie made. I mean, this property bounced around and finally came back to Marvel, and it was the first movie that they funded and produced themselves, the first live action movie they did themselves. So I mean, this was a big deal at the time for that studio. They had a lot riding on it, and they came in on time and under budget. And that was like a huge deal, especially for a movie with this many visual effects. Their budget was 140 million USD, and they grossed 585.2 million worldwide. So it was in the box office. So that was definitely a hit. That was a hit.
No doubt. You know what I love so much about him as Iron Man?
Okay. Yeah.
Sarcasm. Just his sarcasm is just, I mean, and his timing on that is just right on.
He's impeccable.
Yeah.
He's impeccable. And the interesting thing about this is that there wasn't a firm script for this movie. I mean, they knew where they wanted to go, but Jon Favreau filmed it the way you would a small movie, an independent film. So there was lots of room for improv and ad-libbing. And that's like Robert Downey Jr.'s bread and butter. He's able to do that and stick that in such a unique and relevant way that he did that all over this film. That's a lot of just him coming out in this character. I mean, they're kind of synonymous at this point.
Sure.
So yeah, absolutely. Favreau knew he was going to be able to make him like a lovable jerk, you know, especially in the beginning. You know, before the transformation happens, where he's like, I got to look at this. I can't keep carrying on this way. You know, he knew that people were still going to like him even when he was being a jerk. And he kind of picks that up a little bit in some other movies too. He can be a little jerky sometimes. He goes off the rails, but that's why he needs Pepper to like keep him on the straight and narrow.
Reel him right in.
You know, and not that he doesn't give her grief. He does. He gives her a
ton.
But you know, she is his moral compass, I think. Like she is able to pull him back from the edge in a way nobody else can.
And I like that Jon Favreau is Happy Hogan.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
He does a good job.
Yeah. Oh, he's a great actor.
I know. Well, he said that he wanted to be in the movie, but a movie this big, he couldn't have that big of a part. So that's why he wanted to be Happy.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah.
That's a decent part, though.
It is. It grows a little bit more as it goes. And then he doesn't direct all of them. So as he doesn't have to do as much, he gets a bigger part.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the reasons why Jon Favreau thought that RDJ would be right for the part is because he had to so publicly go through all his troubles. And he felt that he would be able to relate to Tony Stark in a very unique way.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like...
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's not just like, oh, I couldn't get the girl or I'm a high school nerd. It's like, no, I've had these very real issues. And, you know, Tony Stark kind of did too. He had those very real issues that he had to deal with in the public eye, from his father dying when he was young to, you know, all the mess he made. And the guy in the cave that saved him, Jensen, he gives his life basically to help Tony get out of that cave.
Right.
And after he's shot and they're having this moment and Tony says, you know, thank you for saving my life. And he says to him, don't waste it. And that moment, you see Tony's having a really emotional reaction because he's basically losing another dad, another father figure. He's giving his life for him. And that changes everything for him. That moment, especially as the movies progress, and he's really trying to live up to that. He's really trying to make that sacrifice mean something.
Right.
Iron Man.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
I'm all about the originals anyway. You know.
I know. You like those originals.
I really do.
It's a good one. Okay, I'm going to do my favorite eye actor.
Okay.
My favorite actor under the letter I is Idris Elba.
Good choice.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He was born Idrissa Acuna Elba, September 6, 1972 in Hackney, London, England.
Yeah.
And he was on The Wire, and that's kind of what broke him first here in the United States. But I first saw him in the Guy Ritchie film Rock and Rolla with Gerard Butler. He played Mumbles. Jerry played 1, 2, and Tom Hardy was in that movie too. He was Handsome Bob. I loved that movie so much because, you know, I love Jerry Butler. Yeah. But that cast of that movie is really good. I like Guy Ritchie movies. I wish he could put more women in his movies, but they're all, you know, they're guy pal films, but they were really good. And they just bust each other's chops throughout the movie.
He's known as being a very funny guy.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Down to earth and very funny.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And like, you know, a manly guy, but like the best version of a man, like not in a toxic way, masculine, but not toxic, you know? So having them all together, like those kind of guys like that has got to be a lot of fun.
Sure.
But I liked him in The Losers. He played Roke. That was a DC comic that they converted into a movie, and like Jeffrey Dean Martin's in it, and Chris Evans is in it. So it's a lot of fun. And Zoe Saldana as well. But where I loved him, I started to love him, was when he played Heimdall in Thor.
That was Thor.
Yes, Thor. Yeah. And he played Heimdall 5 times in The Dark World, in Ragnarok, and in 2 Avengers movies. And I really started to love him when I saw him in Thor. He looked so badass anyway. But then I went back and started watching some other stuff, and I found like Luther, which is a BBC series where he's a detective chief inspector, and he's like a cross between like Sherlock Holmes and Columbo in it.
Right.
And it's very interesting. It's very good because he doesn't carry a gun. You know, they don't carry guns.
Okay.
And so he really has to like talk his way and figure his way out of so many situations that are different than here in the States. And it's very well done. He befriends this psychopathic woman who is obsessed with him, and she gets him out of some situations because he's hunting her in the beginning, and then she like has this weird obsession with him, and she kind of just wears him down. So it's really, it's interesting. It's a good show. It's really good.
Right.
A couple other things that he's been in. He's been in Fast and the Furious.
That's where I've seen him.
Hobbs and Shaw, right?
Yep.
Brixton. He plays like a Terminator type baddie.
Yeah.
In that, he's really good.
Badass.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Really good.
Yeah.
And he also played Krall in Star Trek Beyond, but he was covered in makeup most of the time. You could barely see him. But he's done all that kind of stuff, and then he like plays Nelson Mandela. So I mean, the guy. He's got some range on him, you know?
Yeah, for sure. As a matter of fact, I had seen an interview with someone referring to him, and they called him an artist rather than just an actor. And it's like, yeah, you know what? They hit the nail on the head on that one.
Yeah. He's done some producing stuff too now. He's venturing out. He's doing producing stuff in like Concrete Cowboy and also At the Harder They Fall. He plays the baddie in that one too. But that takes place in like the Wild West. It's really good. Regina King's in it. It's really good. It's violent, but it's really good. Yeah, he was in Suicide Squad as well.
Yes.
But beyond being an actor, he does a whole bunch of other stuff. He's a DJ.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and he DJ'd Harry and Meghan's reception.
Meghan's wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how crazy is that?
I know, that's great.
He's an international kickboxer.
Yes.
He has a clothing collaboration with Superdry. He races cars, and he broke a record hitting 186.4 miles an hour in a Bentley Continental GT Speed. I mean,
it's been broken since, but yes.
But he broke the record at the time.
Yeah.
He's got an OBE. He was awarded an OBE in 2016, and he's got a foot fetish.
Yeah.
Kate Winslet outed him on Graham Norton about the foot fetish thing because they starred together in The Mountain Between Us, which was a very good but very intense movie. I liked it very much, but she outed him with that. He did not deny it, and he likes to sleep naked.
There you go. Sexiest man alive.
I got it right here.
2018. There I
got it right here.
You actually have it.
I actually have it, and I kept it. And you know how many times I've almost thrown this issue away?
No,
I don't hang on to them. I don't. No. But this one I can't throw away.
No, you can't.
And I don't think I'm ever going to be able to now.
No, you should. But you should frame it.
But interestingly, I'm going to say this parlays into something we talked about earlier. We talked about Tom Selleck and his mustache, right?
Right.
Well, in this November 19, 2018 issue of People with Idris Elba on the cover as the sexiest man alive, they have a little thing
about Tom Selleck.
About Tom Selleck.
I could see it.
Mustache or no mustache.
No,
there was a poll. They took a poll.
Oh, come on.
And 86% of people polled prefer him with a mustache.
Of course. What's wrong with the 14%?
I don't know. But I just thought that it was so funny that we had talked about his mustache, and then it happens to be in this issue.
Yep.
So I don't know if I can ever throw away a People magazine again, because look how handy it is.
Not that one. That one you have to keep.
I mean, and you know what's even worse? I mean, it's even worse. Look at this. Look at this. You people can't see it. I'm very sorry you can't. Look at that. Oh my God.
Nice photo.
Pull it up online. It's ridiculous. You got to see this guy. So that is Idris Elba, my favorite eye actor.
I had seen him on James Corden years ago, and they were just so funny together. So funny. They had done Cats together.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was trying not to bring up the travesty that was Cats.
But it's a James Corden thing.
Oh God.
Oh, and during the interview, he was talking about that he would feel very safe if he was a passenger on his motorcycle. So the latest thing with him is that a lot of people are voting for him to be the next James Bond.
Well, Daniel Craig actually recommended that he be the next James Bond as well. Not that he's got any say in it, but I guess he threw it in as, I would like to pass the torch to this person.
Yeah. I think he'd be great. Happen. Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah, I think it would be.
If he did get it, I think he'd be the oldest person to take it on to start.
I wonder how old Roger Moore was.
He was 45 in Live and Let Die. And Idris Elba is 5 years older than me, so he'd be 49, and they haven't even started yet.
Yeah, might be right.
Yeah,
might be right.
The oldest actor to play James Bond was Roger Moore.
There you go.
In his final Bond film, A View to a Kill, Moore was 58, and he thinks he's too old to play James Bond, but I don't think so. I think he could still do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. He looks good.
And not just that. I mean, he's a kickboxer.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, come on.
Yeah. He'd be great at that.
I think he'd be good.
I know.
I'd be happy just to see him do it once.
I'd vote for that. I really would.
You know, just to see him do it once, even if he doesn't want to, you know, take on a franchise, you know, for like 3 films or whatever.
Exactly.
Just to get him in there.
Yeah.
I think would be fantastic.
I think so too. As we're getting ready to put our finishing touches on this episode, we have some heartbreaking news.
Taylor Hawkins, the drummer for the Foo Fighters, has died on the 25th of March. Terrible. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking news. We're devastated as fans.
Yes.
And we can't even imagine what the family is going through right now. So we just want to offer our condolences to Taylor Hawkins' family, friends, and band.
Absolutely. So on a somber note, we'll wrap this up. We appreciate you listening. With that, we're out of here.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.